Well, Brooke Schofield has been posting like nothing happened.
Really exciting things are happening, you guys. I got Crumble. Oh, it looks like a little person. I didn't lose my last baby tooth until I was like 22. We have all the time in the world, so we're celebrating. Here she is. Oh.
So I thought I would go ahead and film this video for you all where I bring up some of the tweets that were not being as talked about that she was posting that I came across, because I'm hearing through the grapevine, and by that I mean I saw this one post on Reddit by this person who was probably spreading a rumor that I'm just mentioning here in case there's some truth to it. But there is this rumor going around on Reddit that she paid people to remove the tweets from Reddit. I'm curious if there's some truth to this, because whenever I decided I was gonna do this video and talk about Brooke and everything that has happened and is continuing to happen, whenever I decided I was gonna sit down and do this video, I wanted to go and find all the tweets that she had posted, and when I started looking for them, every single Reddit thread had all of the posts deleted, and I was like, what is going on? Why are they all gone? So I had to dig to find them, and in digging to find them, I found some others that I haven't really heard people talking about that I'm also going to be mentioning here. One of the reasons why I'm doing this video is I've kind of noticed that everything has hushed down a little bit, and I don't think it should be. And I also don't like that she's posting like nothing happened, continuing to get millions of views and thousands of comments. So we're gonna basically be talking about everything wrong with Brooke Schofield in this video. We're going to be talking about the tweets that everybody has, brought up already, that I feel like it's important to continue to keep the conversation going about that. I don't think this is something that should die down, because I think it is that serious. We're also going to be talking about the other tweets that I found, trying to come across these ones that everybody has been speaking on, and just bring up some past stuff that I feel like has a lot to do with who Brooke is as a person. I want to say this, I've been on YouTube for a very long time, so I've seen, everything with Tana, from, her being essentially a child on YouTube filming these videos, and I've seen the mistakes she's made, all the things that she's gotten canceled for. And in watching the canceled podcast, Brooke always kind of gave me a little bit of a bad vibe, but sometimes I get bad vibes from people because I have trust issues, okay? I just do. But Brooke always kind of gave me an off vibe, and so when all of this came out, it started to make a bit of sense to me. Now, before I get into this, I want to say I don't care how old she was when she posted this. She had Twitter. She was old enough to know better. I don't care how old she was, what year this was, or that she had racist Republican family members. I don't care. It means nothing to me. The years that these were posted, I'm not even going to talk about because I feel that it's irrelevant, but she posted, guarantee if Zimmerman shot a white guy, this wouldn't even be a story. Newsflash, this wasn't a crime of racism, it was self-defense. Quit acting like Zimmerman shot and killed a child. The kid was 17 years old. If you're comparing it to Casey Anthony, Lord help you. First of all, this was a 17-year-old child who was going to get a drink and some candy, and it was an act of racism. It was senseless. This man did it because he was racist, because he wanted to, because he thought he could.
This guy looks like he's up to no good.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
Down 70 to 80 feet from the back door. He's just trying to get home. If Trayvon had been a white kid, the things that the Sanford Police Department didn't do for Trayvon, in this case, they would have did it for a white kid. The question that I really would like to ask him is, if he could look into Trayvon's eyes and see how innocent he was, would he have then pull the trigger?
I feel that it was all God's plan, and for me to second guess it or judge it.
Is there anything you might do differently?
No, sir.
And guess what? He got away with it. People like this piss me off. This is a disgusting viewpoint. This is the type of viewpoint that is so harmful to our world. This is why Black people are hurt to this day, because of people like this saying like this, spreading this hate, and people like this need to be held accountable for it. And I don't care if someone is a teenager when they wrote it, because this teenager was saying he was 17 years old, like it wasn't just a child. So I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, Brooke was just a child when she wrote these things. No, my mama heart cannot take it to see somebody talk like that about a human being and defend a grown man who took the life of a 17-year-old kid. Stuff like that happens all the time. It's happening every single day. This is a story that took off And you see people's true colors when stories like this get media coverage, because people like Brooke start to come out and start to talk about how they feel and how they view things, and they need to be held accountable for it. They gave the opinion, so we are able to judge the opinion. I don't care that this was 2013. I don't care that she said that her views are changed, and I'm going to tell you why I don't care. But first, we're going to go over some of the other things that she posted that I feel like are important. She said, Sarah's reading black jokes to me and I feel threatened. Something I will never understand is why someone would go out of their way to look ghetto. Like, just be a girl like the rest of us. Oh my God, I swear I had nappier hair this morning than most African Americans on this end of our country. #Afro. Cassie yells racist profanities in the movie theater, and the only minority in the room is sitting directly behind us. I said so many accidentally racist things last night, I don't know how I even made it back to America. What do you call a Mexican baptism? Bean dip. So Adam just suggested chicken, waffles, a Kool-Aid, yet he wants us all to think his soul is Caucasian. Whenever I picture my children, they're Mexican, but I'm not even attracted to Mexican boys. Now, when she did her video where she was talking about how she had horrible views for a long time, she was talking about how she grew up as being one of the reasons why she thought that way.
All right, you guys, I have had a lot to say about accountability lately and how important it is and how far it can go, and I feel like I'm not taking my own advice. Obviously, by now you guys have seen the tweets that are circulating around. They unfortunately are not fake. Those are real tweets, like real things that I said. Of course, I do appreciate the people who are coming to bat for me and like saying like, you know, it was so long ago and like she's grown and stuff, but like it doesn't matter. Like, it literally does not matter, particularly the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman situation. I try not to be so emotional because I don't want it to seem like it's like a sympathy thing at all. I also don't want to blame anybody else at all. I was adopted by my grandparents when I was like 10, and I grew up with them from that point on. As is true for a lot of grandparents, they're a little bit less progressive than a lot of us are now. He is a very, very right-wing conservative man, okay? It was like my household was literally just Fox News all the time, Rush Limbaugh. It's like playing literally all day long through the house, and that was just like the only thing ever that I had been exposed to. You like have these people that you like put on a pedestal and you think everybody older than you is smarter than you and knows everything, and they do not.
As someone who was around racist family members, this sickened me that she spent however many minutes it was of her addressing it, even discussing this. In my family, there were definitely some racist family members, unfortunately. I was 16 in 2006, and I was staying at my grandma's in Texas. I mean, a very small town in Texas, very, very southern, cowboy hats, cowboy boots, people spit and dip out of their cheeks. And one of my favorite shows to watch with my dad was The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I was staying at my grandma and grandpa's house for a week in the summer. I want to give a little bit of context as well, like where my grandparents were was like 6 hours from us. I wasn't around them all the time, so this was a very rare thing. I had never spent a summer with them. I had never, had the remote and had control over the TV to put things on. I was watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and my grandpa came up behind me, and I'm not going to repeat what he said, but he said, "Get those off my TV," and yelled it. And I just want to say, like, I'm just a white girl. My opinion doesn't matter at the end of the day. It doesn't. The way I felt hearing that doesn't matter. I've never been affected by racism. I never will be affected by it. All I want to say is that hearing that, I can't imagine how that would feel to a black person to hear that aggressively yelled at them, and they do still hear it still to this day, because racism is still real, and people like Brooke tweeting things like this was spreading that, stirring it up, continuing to make it worse, instead of fixing things, instead of making things better. And I'm bringing that up to say that I had racist family members. And in 2006, I knew that was horrible. I knew that was wrong. I knew that was something that you don't say. I grew up in a very Republican household. They had, Fox News on and stuff all the time, but I knew better. I had the internet. She was using Twitter. She was exposed to other views. Her saying, this was playing on the TV all the time. It's all I ever heard. You were using the internet. You had a cell phone. In 2006, I didn't even have a cell phone, and I knew better from the, few hours out of the day that I was able to use the internet. With the internet, nobody has excuses anymore because we are exposed to all different viewpoints. All of that to say that for an adult woman to get into an addressing this video and to be so performative, because she was being performative, because if you have ever watched the Canceled podcast, that's not how she talks. Like, she was not talking casually. She was talking scripted. Okay, like she probably recorded this a million times and decided to go with this one. Her saying, you know, I don't want to blame this on anybody, but most of the video, she proceeded to just blame it on her family. I haven't seen enough people who have grown up in those environments talking about how they didn't think that way, even though that was what they were around. You know what I mean? And so hearing her say this and pin this on her grandparents, her mother, whatever, is just disgusting. And girl, you were old enough to know better. You even said yourself you weren't going to blame it on anybody else, but you proceeded to blame it on somebody else. What, is she trying to gaslight people at the same time? And here's what bothers me. She thinks that she can just proceed like nothing happened, because guess what? That's what happens on the internet. People do awful shit all the time. They take a little bit of a break, which she barely even took one at all, and then they come back and people forget. They figure out, like, who are the people that are still going to support me and watch me, and I'm just gonna, you know, continue to profit off of that, because she is profiting off of people that are watching her crap. And, you know, scrolling through the comments of the people that are still watching and saying positive things, they're all fucking white. I also don't think that Brooke is the smartest cookie in the cookie jar, and that's to put it lightly. I feel like she's kind of unintelligent. And I'm not even going to say no offense, because she said all this offensive shit, so can I. I feel like she has a lot of growing up to do and a lot of learning to do. And, you know, all of this was going on. She's getting canceled for saying all these racist things. And then she gets on Instagram and likes a picture with Donald Trump while trying to say that she's a different person than the person who wrote all those tweets. And then her video that she posts addressing it was just so half-assed. Like, she thinks she can just get on there and be like, oh, I was just mindlessly scrolling and not thinking. Girl, you are in the midst of a cancellation for being completely racist, and then you like that, of all things, as you're saying that you don't have, like, Republican views and stuff anymore, you know? And it's just like, have Republican views if you want to have them, but don't say that you don't have them anymore. And then in the midst of being canceled for being racist, you go and you like that. And then you think you could just be like, I just wasn't thinking. Well, girl, you need to start thinking. Okay. There are some other things that she posted that I just feel like are hateful and disgusting. And some of them are just as bad, but in the realm of homophobia, assault. She said you can't trade lap dances for cheeseburgers, because after a little while, no one will want a lap dance from a fat person. Oh, I see. I'm gonna go later because I get all embarrassed when I work out like a fat girl. Big butt doesn't count if you have huge thighs, just like big boobs don't count if you're big everywhere else. If you're skinny and you diet, I probably hate you. Fat people diet, skinny people work out. I just want to mention these posts as well, because I would like you all to know that Brooke also hates fat people, because she quite literally said it. If you're skinny and you diet, I probably hate you, because fat people diet. That's literally saying that you hate. Like, are you f***ing kidding me? You know, I would rather be fat and happy and a kind person and not a piece of shit than a skinny bitch. I think the way that she's handled everything after the fact shows who she is as a person. She posted a couple really awful TikToks and is going on to post stupid shit like this.
My life of just like,
she doesn't care. She's just hoping that you will forget about it. Quit calling me when you're drunk. And I cannot say this word, you can use your imagination. I don't even want you when you're sober. Before she got canceled and got kicked off of the Canceled podcast with Tana, she was on there talking about how she's in her gay era and gonna date girls and all that stuff, which I guess she's done it before in the past, but it's just really funny because it's like, you were on there saying homophobic bullcrap. Everybody was canceling Billie Eilish, saying that she was gay baiting when she actually was into girls, whereas Brooke over here, I think, is the real actual gay baiter, because she's just going to women because she's having issues with men, and I guarantee you this girl's gonna end up with a guy. She's doing it for attention, period. To R-word you or not to R-word you, everyday struggle. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? I'm genuinely disgusted. My stomach hurts. I feel so sick reading these. These are just disgusting, vile, horrific things. Like, every bad take this girl could have, she had it. I saved this one for last. She said that she was faking liberal views to get good grades on college papers. Okay? In her posts, in her TikTok posts that she made addressing things, One of the things that she said in this video was that she wrote a college paper on racism, and she used this as an example.
I mentioned in my last video how I didn't really open my eyes until after college, but I want to make it clear that when I say that, I'm referring to hate crimes in particular. It wasn't until after college that I realized how prevalent police brutality is and how common hate crimes are. It's constantly happening. I think a lot of people felt this way, but the murder of George Floyd shifted my mindset completely, okay? Because that's when I started to really research and learn what it was like and what it looked like to be anti-racist. I started to seek out my own resources and learn what reparations looked like and learn what I could do as a white person in situations like these. And I'm really, truly ashamed that it took me that long. I'm a public health major where so many elements have to do with race and racial inequality. I learned so much during that time, you guys. It was actually really eye-opening for me because I had a lot of thoughts my entire life that completely shifted once I started to learn things from other people's perspectives. So much of what I previously had believed to be true changed, and I started paying attention to things that I hadn't before. Again, I acknowledge that I was an adult at this time, and I had all the resources in the world available to me to educate myself prior to college, and I chose not to, and for that I am sorry. Really, really wish that I had. I wrote my college thesis on racial disparities, so how things like socioeconomic standing, health, housing, income, and so many other things can be affected by your race. I didn't stop learning there, and I don't plan to stop learning about these issues ever. I truly mean that, and I know a lot of you aren't going to believe me, and I understand that, but I do care about these issues.
At the time when she was writing this paper, she was also getting on Twitter saying she was faking those views to get a good grade. Now she's using that as an example.
To be honest, I commented on Brooke's little second apology video when she was trying to do better than she did in the first apology video. And the main point I wanted to address was the fact that she tried to use, I wrote my college thesis on racial disparities as a smoking gun gotcha moment to prove that she went out and educated herself. As if we all hadn't also seen the tweets of her saying, I started faking liberal views while writing papers in college and was so shocked at how much my grades improved. And so that's what I commented and I said. And she responds and says, tweeted in 2016, same year I voted for Trump, 3 months into my freshman year. Like I said, for me, it was a slow process. So it's what do you mean slow process? Are you trying to insinuate that in 2016, your freshman year of college, you were in fact faking liberal views for better grades? But then in the process of writing these papers, you slowly but surely started to realize the way you felt, the way you talked, and the way you acted was problematic? But then it's how many of these papers did you write? Did you only write one college thesis in your freshman year? Or did you go on to write about racial disparities throughout your entire college education? Because you only brought up one paper. But to be completely honest, either way, what you wrote about in college is absolutely irrelevant in this situation, because you said yourself that it wasn't until far after you left college that you even began to recognize the possibility of your behavior being problematic. So it's almost clearly the paper or the papers that you were writing in college didn't have that much of an effect on you, because it still wasn't until after you left college that you started to even remotely begin to think maybe I can't go around saying stuff like this all the time. And to continue to be completely honest, it doesn't really seem like you ever even took into consideration your problematic behavior until you moved to LA, a place that is full of people of color. See, unlike in your hometown, you're not going to go to the movies and have your friend yell out racial slurs and there be only one other minority in the movie theater. So it's did you educate yourself and realize that your behavior was genuinely disgusting and problematic? Or did you just realize that it wasn't as acceptable in the new place that you lived, in the new year that you were living in, and you just decided to not say that shit out loud? Because there actually, in fact, is a difference.
I think that this girl is still faking it to this day. I don't think she's educated. I think maybe she educated herself to get a good grade, but it did not get inside of her. It did not get internalized, and it did not go into her heart. And that's my opinion. A college paper is a good grade. If she's going to fake liberal views for an A+ on a paper, she's going to fake liberal views for hundreds of thousands of dollars in her pocket. Okay? Because to have her job, you can't be racist. You can't talk like this to get on a podcast, to get to go on tour. The job that she has, she cannot have and be this person, okay? You can't have that job. And, you know, I think that, yeah, some of these posts were 2013, whatever. Like I said, I don't care. She knew better. She knew better. But I don't care because she admits she still had these views in college. And honestly, I still think she probably does. But maybe because she has self-admittingly trolls Reddit and reads every single thing that anybody has ever said about her on there, she knows what tweets have been circulating and what the years were on them and when she could say that her views changed. That's my personal opinion. I think that she's bamboozling people, and I think the only people that are going to continue to support her think like that or have thought like that in the past and, you know, want forgiveness for themselves or something.
But I don't want this conversation to be over, honestly. I'm not posting this video to make everything go away. I don't want to try to get myself uncanceled, but I know there are a lot of people like me who are still working to unlearn the inherent racism that we possess still. While I know that I've changed, I also know that there is a lot of work to be done, okay? There is a lot that I could still do that I have not done yet. I promise you that I will. I just want to make sure you guys know that I am not trying to pretend like nothing happened or like nothing is wrong. We've seen this happen a million times with influencers and celebrities or whatever it is. And the typical like formula in a situation like this would be to go online, do your apology, wait it out, and then hope everybody forgets about it. And a lot of people just end up never talking about it ever again. And honestly, it works for a lot of people, but I just don't want to do that. I really meant what I said in my videos, and I know my delivery wasn't the best, but I do understand the gravity of the situation, and I understand the weight of my words and how much people were hurt by what I said. While I know how much has changed from then to now, I can't expect everybody else to. And I also know there's a lot of ways that I can still get better. You know, there really is no definitive end. You know what I mean? There's always going to be more for me to learn, and I am reading every single one of your guys' comments. I am listening to everybody, and I really do appreciate everybody who's holding me accountable. I love you all so much, and I understand that there's people who are never going to forgive me, and you are completely valid and fully within your right, but it doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying. I am not trying to just brush this under the rug. This is not like something I'm going to try to make go away or deny at all. I know what's happening. I know what I did was wrong, and I'm going to do better moving forward. I love you.
I don't think that she's a very good person. I think her continuing to post like nothing happened actually shows that. And if people want to open their eyes and see that, that would be really great, because there are a lot of people that are hurt by the stuff that she said. There are Black people who are affected by the things that she said. Can you imagine being Black or being Mexican and being a fan of her and then seeing those tweets come out when you had no idea? Like, people probably shed tears over this, the pain that people felt supporting somebody like that. People like this need to be held accountable, and I feel like I don't like that her comment section is just flooded with all these positive things. I don't think it should be. I think that she needs to take some time away, because honestly, what has she done? Can anybody explain to me what she has done to make this stuff right? What has she done? She's done nothing. She's like, I'm not trying to post and act like, you know, nothing happened. Yes, you are. That is quite literally exactly what you're doing. Your first post back was about a frog. Brooke Schofield, in my personal opinion, is a game player. I wanted to save this for last, but I also wanted to bring it up because I feel like people have forgotten about this, and I think that this also kind of shows who she is as a person, because Tana was her friend. There was an old situation that happened before Brooke was an influencer where her and Tana were friends, and there was this guy that Tana was hooking up with, and Brooke went and hooked up with this guy in Tana's house behind Tana's back, okay? And this whole thing happened. I'll show you some clips of Tana talking about it and some clips of Brooke talking about it, just so you can have a little bit of context to the situation.
I noticed from the beginning of the night, Mindy's just a little too happy Jeff is there. And she's sitting by him, she's walking around next to him, she's laughing at everything he says. It's just a little too much. I'm about to fall asleep, and then I think to myself, one of my last thoughts, I wonder what Jeff ever did. Did he go home? He didn't hit me up. That's kind of weird. He's never really left my house without telling me or talking to me. I wonder where Jeff is. So I FaceTime Jeff. As I'm calling him, I walk out of my room and the FaceTime is ringing. And I walk right out here, and there's a balcony, and I look down to the first floor. And on the first floor, I see Mindy, wide awake, hair like this, everywhere, hair messed up, eyelash falling off, big t-shirt on, walking out of the movie room. I've never seen Mindy spend a day in the movie room, a night in the movie room, let alone at 8 a.m. And I walk in and I look at the both of them. I shit you not, they look like deer in headlights. They're like, and I'm like, and they're like, in my house, in my movie room. Like, y'all couldn't have gone down the street. Y'all couldn't have gone to the Hype House. Y'all couldn't have gone to Post Malone's next door. Y'all get out. What? You're gonna fuck my buddy and then stay in my house? She said.
She goes, no, we just made out.
Just what, bitch? And then I go, no, you didn't. And then she goes, it wasn't me. Like, trying to make a joke. She goes, it wasn't me. And I go, and she's like, come upstairs and talk to me. I'm not leaving. Everyone one by one has to go tell her to leave. She does not leave. I eventually have to ask my assistant to ask her to get out. And
Tana posted a video about it. Brooke posted a video after saying the discrepancies in what Tana said, instead of being like, girl, I'm just like an awful person. Like, this just, like, this is my friend, and I went and I hooked up with this guy knowing my friend liked. It's disgusting. Disgusting behavior. Like this is not a girl's girl at all. This is not a girl's girl. Unless you're skinny, maybe. Nope, because Tana's skinny too. So she don't give an F. I feel like the stuff she does, I'm like, you come off heartless. Like, there ain't nothing beaten in there. Hello. I'm gonna get a stethoscope. Is there a heart in that body? I need to know. But with Tana, their friend, she hooked up with this guy. And then after they hooked up, this is the part that really gets me, as if that's not bad enough. But after they hooked up, she gets kicked out or whatever, leaves, something to that effect. That detail doesn't matter. But originally, she was going to be going to a Halloween party with Tana, and they were going to be wearing matching costumes. But since that happened and they were fighting, they weren't going together anymore. Brooke decided, hey, I'm still going to go, but I'm going to go with somebody else. And my costume is going to be Tana's ex-boyfriend. And in this video, she proceeds to say, I didn't even dress up like that because it was Tana's ex. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Now, obviously, Tana and I did have matching costumes for that night, so of course I'm not going to still wear that, and I'm not going to the party with her anymore, so whatever. I didn't have a costume, and I wasn't planning on going out until my friend from college called me and was like, hey, like, what are you doing? Do you want to come with us to this? And this friend was going as Post Malone. So I remembered, oh my God, that's cute. That's like how Billie dressed as Little Xan. So I literally copied Billie's exact outfit when she dressed as Little Xan, and I went as Little Xan. Now, looking back on it, I understand why she was a little frustrated, because it's like, what the fuck? Like, we're already in a fight and you're really going to dress up as my ex or whatever. But I had no reason to believe that they had any like bad blood. In my eyes, Lil Xan's just a rapper, okay? And I was copying Billie Eilish's costume. I'm sure watching this, you're probably like, okay, like, duh, don't go with someone's ex-boyfriend. But like, he's a really popular rapper. Billie Eilish did it, and my friend was going as Post Malone. I swear on my life that I was not even thinking about Tana in this moment. At this time, all I want from Tana is forgiveness. Like, so why the would I post it on my story if I thought genuinely in my heart that it was going to upset her, when I'm begging her for forgiveness, literally apologizing every 2 seconds? I'm not like some kind of huge victim in this situation. Like, I know 100% that I deserve some level of accountability for what I did, because I was wrong. Do I deserve tens of thousands of DMs and death threats telling me I'm ugly, fat, the B-list version of Tana, I'm poor, I should kill myself? Like, absolutely not. Tana says certain things in this video that are just straight up mean, that people have run with so far.
Girl, you literally just had sex with a guy that she's hooking up with in her home, that she is providing to you. And then you go to a Halloween party you were supposed to go to with her dressed up like her ex-boyfriend. I don't know. I just feel like when people show you that they're awful people, can we just start believing them? Can we just start believing them? Because what has Brooke done since then to show that she's not like that? Apart from a couple really bad TikToks that sound like scripted and like, you know, like they're not even good. She didn't even address it well. I'm so tired of seeing her on my feed. I cannot take it. You all are going to have to let me know what you think in the comments down below about this. I'm just disgusted by this behavior. Honestly, I really, really am just disgusted. Leave this video a like if you would like me to continue to cover this, if there's anything else to talk about. I also have a Patreon if you guys would like to join and support me over there. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you soon for another one.